Okay. Hello, everyone. I can't hear myself. Okay, good evening. Let's continue studying Master YongHua's Chan teachings, Chan Qi teachings. We picked things up where we left off last time. The last time we did the last Sammachi, where Master YongHua said that if you use worldly meditation techniques, you can reach the eighth samadhi, or the heaven of neither thought or non-thought. And there's still a consciousness that remains, even though you experience a vast emptiness. And this is where it's continuing at slide 155.
If we apply effort on this consciousness, use this consciousness, this is not ultimate. Even if you cultivate it to the heaven of the station of neither thought nor non-thought, there is still a consciousness there. You still didn't return to the origin or revert to the source, didn't return to the self-nature. Okay, this point is very important. The non-Buddhist practices, whether you can cite yoga, you can cite Tai Chi, you can cite Qigong and all those practices, or Hinduism and so forth, their meditation, their spiritual practices are still reside on the awareness or the consciousness of the particular Dharma. Okay, for example, many of them are caught in a concept of a qi, especially when you are Chinese and you probably are aware of the Taoist model, where as you meditate, you see the qi moving inside your body and going up here and then circulating and so forth. That's a natural occurrence. And what happened is that the Taoists or the Qigong or the Hindus, they look at it as something that's extraordinary. It's not. It is just a natural occurrence in your body, in your consciousness when you practice meditation. Okay, and what happened is these other non-Buddhist practices, they expounded thoroughly in great details on how this qi or that qi model works, and it has wonderful worldly applications. For example, the Taoists use that knowledge for healing purposes, and that's correct. You can use that to heal as well at the superficial level. And that's what Master YongHua is referring to. The non-Buddhist practices, all of them have that drawback. They have this attachment to that knowledge of the qi in particular, which is very commonplace with them, and that's why they will not be able to go back to the source, will not go back to their original nature. Yes, Nine, did you have something to say?
Yes, Master. From my limited experience with those externalist things, they actually think that's it. That's what they've been trying to reach. And they think that we're talking about, the below our level, that consciousness that's still there, they think that's the ultimate.
Right, and that's exactly what the problem is. Their model is based on the consciousness, the awareness of that concept of a chi or whatever, and that's why they will not be able to break through. And this is very, very dangerous, actually. And until the Buddha came along to this world, where the Buddha showed his tremendous spiritual powers, that's how the Taoists and the Hindus were able, the Brahmins were able to let go of those models until they see something far superior, okay? And they started over again, because this consciousness that is the basis of their spiritual practices is very, very deeply ingrained in their thinking, and therefore they stuck big time. It's very difficult to undo. Okay, and on top of it, unless you have the great presence, magnetic presence of the Buddha or his spiritual penetrations, these people are kind of fool themselves. They are so full of themselves that we Buddhist monks and nuns ask ourselves, why do we bother with such people? They're just such low level, so why should we bother with them? We train our people, get there and surpass them much easier to train new people than having to worry about these people who are too stuck and too full of themselves. Okay, and that's not just the externalists, but that's also my admonition to all of you. When you come to our way places, put aside what you know, put aside your track record, because if you were that successful with it in your prior practices, you wouldn't bother coming here at all. Let's face it. So drop it and let go, so that you can learn a different kind of spiritual practice that will not cause you to be stuck big time. Okay? And in particular, I went to Korea and I met some of the better, and we're talking about Buddhist students, Buddhist disciples, who got into the Arhat range, first, second, and third, and fourth, and so forth. And I saw how stuck they are with their achievement. Okay, and that's what my last comment was meant to do. Were designed to do, to point out to such people that first, Arhat range is such a small level, such a low level for Mahayana that there's no need to be proud of. Okay, including my own master's disciples, they got much higher, and look at them and say, "What are you so proud of? This is nothing yet. Your master didn't even teach you the sudden teaching yet.
You still don't get it. So what are you so satisfied about? Okay, so there's a lot of it's a huge world. Mahayana is very profound. It's people who are much more advanced than us, and there's no point in feeling self-satisfied or feeling that our attainment is good at all. If we're like that, we're not different from these externalists. Okay, it's a different kind of attachment. That's all. It's just as equally dangerous. Continue.
So, you will still fall, still not ending birth and death. The self-nature is perfectly fused and unobstructed. It pervades the Dharma realm. Such function is unspeakable, thus it is called inconceivable. If you practice the externalist Dharma,
Gungnang is not function. Gungnang is such capacity, such capability. Function is yung. Okay, be careful in this translation here, because Master Hsuan explained it very clearly. Okay, the gungnang of the self-nature is inconceivable. Its capabilities, its capacities are just out of this world. Yes.
the external sect are what Brahmanism cultivates, what Taoism cultivates in China. What does Taoism cultivate? He cultivates. The spirit exists to the heaven and returns to the earth. On this head, a little child can be born.
It's not like that. It's not on this head a little child is born. You explain it like that, the English-speaking people will go crazy. It's no such a thing. A child cannot be born out of your head. It's the exact opposite direction. And then all the English-speaking people say, what are you guys are talking about? Okay. And 但是说就显入什么
Pink.
So that's exit to the heaven, return to the earth, is what it means? Okay, I don't know what that expression means. But when it says, 这个头上啊，生出来一个小孩子来, it says that in your head, on top of your head there will a baby will exit, okay, not be born, will come out. 生出来 here exits, okay, not born at all. So it means that what he means that is that according to the Taoist practice, you can work on this what is it called? The in-being, what's it called? Taoist people, remind me. Okay, they have this spiritual being that they practice, and that in being that can exit through. They use the Dharma and they exit through the top of the head and travel through space, okay, and travel and then come back through the head and come back to the head and re-enters it. That's what it's referring to. So it's not a child is born. That astral body, that's it. Astral body, okay, exits off the top. They work on this astral body, okay, and then the astral body can exit from the top of the head, goes and travels, go to New York and take a look at things, and so forth, and then go window shopping, see what's on sale, okay, and then they come back and they re-enter the top of the head. That's all. That's what this is called, astral body, and that's what they do, okay? And again, that model has a problem. You may have an astral body, but it is still attachment to something called astral body, and that's why you will not be able to break through. Okay, in fact, when in Buddhism, supposedly, when you practice to a certain level, you also have astral bodies, but your astral body is a lot more powerful and not as limited as the astral body of the Taoists. Who are we to tell them? What do we care what they do? Okay. All right, continue.
我呢，这个小孩子，在道教里叫元神，也叫邪神。他那个元神。 有一个是个自性，那个邪神呢，就是这个八识这个识。
This astral body is called Primordial Spirit in Taoism, also called the consciousness. His primordial spirit is a self-nature.
你烦恼断了，圆鹤，那就是自性。你要烦恼没有断，
If you can apply effort, if your afflictions severed and your ignorance broken, then that's self-nature. If the afflictions are not severed,
明不破，那就识。 而能转识成智。
The ignorance is not broken. That's consciousness. You haven't turned consciousness into wisdom.
尤其有一种嗔恨心，那更是不得了。
Especially to have a kind of hateful mind, that's even more terrible.
以前呢，就有这么一个说了门教，这个修行呢，出玄入尽的功夫。
In the past, there was a Brahmin who practiced the Kung Fu of the spirit exits to the heaven and returns to the earth.
这种功夫啊是很危险，很容易啊出去就回不来。
This type of Kung Fu is very dangerous. One could easily exit and cannot come back.
With an extra S in exists is exit, not exists.
Oh. Sorry.
也很容易呀、堕到这个天魔外道里边去，做这个魔王的眷属。
One could also easily fall into the external sect of the heavenly demons and become their retinue, and become the retinue of Demon King.
那个婆罗门呢，他就欢喜修这个出玄入牝的功夫。
This Brahman, he just liked practicing this Kung Fu of the spirit exits to the heaven and returns to the earth.
一个的这个头上就出去一个小孩子，这个小孩子啊，他会腾云驾雾，就会在虚空里跑。
Once sit there, the astral body went out of the head. The astral body, he can mount the crowds and ride the mist. He can run in empty space.
他这个一打这个王想，到扭腰去看看去，这个小孩子就会到扭腰了。
Once he had a false thought of going to New York to have a look. Oh, this astral body arrived in New York.
再打个王想，到印度去看看。哦，印度那街道很不清洁，很邋遢。
He had another false thought of going to India to have a look. Oh, in India, the streets are very unsanitary, very dirty.
他在这个地方坐着就知道，什么地方他都能看得见。
He knew everything by just sitting there. He can see any place.
他 甚至于他要隔天耳通也听见当地的人说话。
If he gained the heavenly ear's penetration, he could also hear the locals' conversations.
他认为这是神通的小，这是有神通。
He thought this spiritual penetration is a big deal. This is having spiritual penetration.
就修这种法，完了叫他这个小孩子各处去跑，各处去玩。
Just practicing this type of Dharma, he always let the astral body run everywhere, play everywhere.
有一天，他各处去旅行，但是盘天呢，错过这个旅店，他就到这个一个庙上少许就住下。
One day, he traveled around and missed the motel at night, so he went to a temple to seek accommodation for the night.
住在这个庙上呢，有一个老和尚，这有一个小沙弥。他一叫门呢，这小沙弥就出来说：“你干什么？”
This temple had an old monk and a little novice. Once he knocked on the door, this little novice came out. He said,
想在这住一宿。沙弥说：“等我问问我师父。”
What are you doing here? He said, I want to stay here for a night. The novice said, Let me check with my master.
回去问那个老和尚呢，我那边有一个婆罗门呢，他来想在俺们这儿住一宿，可不可以留他呢？
Then he went back to check with the old monk. There's a Brahmin outside. He wants to stay here for a night. Can we accommodate him?
老和尚说：“出这慈悲为本，方便为门，这当然可。”
The old monk said, We left home people. Compassion is the root. Expedient is the door.
这个愚人方便，自己方便。
Of course, this is okay. Giving convenience to others is giving convenience to ourselves.
你要不给人家方便，自己也不方便。留他在这住一宿啦。
If you don't give convenience to others, we ourselves would be inconvenient as well. We can keep him here for the night.
给他看看他吃饭了没有？没有吃饭，给他找一点吃的东西。小沙弥，那这个婆罗门呢就说可以的。
Go check if he has eaten already. If not, find food for him to eat. The little novice said to this Brahmin.
我师父答应了，我问你吃饭没吃饭呢？你没吃饭，我给你做一点斋饭。婆罗门说：“我饭不要吃了。”
Okay, my master approved. He asked if you have eaten or not. If not, I can make some vegetarian meal for you.
我们在这住一起就好了。于是乎就在这住。第二天能够打开，就练这个出天入定。
This Brahmin said, I don't want to eat. Just stay here for the night is good enough. Thus, he lived here. He meditated at night.
True is not live, true is to dwell. He stayed there. Yeah. If he lived there, we wouldn't be in trouble. We don't allow Brahmins to live at the temples. The Westerners are going to get the wrong ideas.
Just practice this kung fu of spirit exits to the heaven and returns to the earth. His consciousness left again.
走，他也走得很远。因为天亮的时候，他也没回来。
Once left, he probably traveled very far. Till dawn, he still didn't come back.
Okay. What you should appreciate is the fact that Master YongHua's vast knowledge. He said earlier in about 10, 20 slides before, he explained that process of how these Brahmins practice the astral body or primordial spirit. Yeah. Okay. Yuan Shen. Okay, that's pretty impressive that the way he explained it is so precise, and that's what's great about Master YongHua. He is so knowledgeable about the so many practices, including external practices. I'm just so impressed by his vast knowledge. He's like a Renaissance man of Chan, of spiritual cultivation. He's the most remarkable man, and unfortunately, he didn't pass that knowledge on to our generation. Okay, it's a kind of knowledge that comes from many lifetimes of practicing those practices himself. So that's why he understands pretty well. Okay, and that's what happens in Buddhism. Once you get the skills, it's perfectly okay for you to go. You have wisdom, and you will learn these practices because you won't get in trouble anymore. You will learn, and you see, it's like learning how to make sushis. No matter how much wisdom you have, you're still better off enrolling, taking a class, and spend years, maybe 10 years, learning how to perfect those sushis right there. Or take 3 years to. I noticed that when they train the sushi chefs in Japan, it takes them 3 years to make the proper omelet that they put on the sushis. It takes 3 years for them to do it properly. It takes them 3 years to fold the rice properly. Okay?
It's amazing. And those are the skills that those are called worldly skills. So in Buddhism, once you have wisdom, we integrate into the world and learn worldly skills and contribute as well. We don't reject those things. However, before you have wisdom, you're better off not learning these worldly skills because they create attachments. Okay, like this particular Brahmin here. He meditates every night. That's remarkable. Okay, it's a great thing. You meditate every day. Kudos to you. Okay, and what does he do when he meditates? He meditates in order to travel. Cheap travel, you will. Okay, so what does it tell you? He's attached to traveling at night. Think about it. Meditation is supposed to do good things for you, but no. He meditates in order to go to places, to see places. And nowadays, you can do it pretty cheap, buying a $100 drone, and you can fly anywhere you want. You don't need to meditate. Are you kidding? Or if you can't do that, you get on YouTube, all these people who use drones everywhere and visits Taiwan, Taipei, Nepal, and Colombia, and so forth. It's so effortless, and that's precisely the point. And the point here is that these people they get stuck on these skills. Yes, they're cool skills, they're wonderful skills, but I don't mean to denigrate them by saying it's the same kind as learning how to make sushis. Okay, of course they're much more advanced than that. However, it's not that much different because you are spending your lifetime chasing after things that eventually will get you in trouble, will get you stuck. Okay, and that's what happens to worldly people. Okay, and the only thing that stops you from doing that, let me point out to you, it's normal for us to be enamored with these skills. These skills are so impressive. What stops us from going that path is? What? How do you prevent yourself from getting stuck on Kung Fu, Tai Chi, Qigong, and all those things? How? Mr. Old Monk. Those are very impressive. Those are, before I found Buddhism, I wanted to learn Tai Chi, I wanted to learn Kung Fu and all those things, but never pursued them. How?
Thưa thầy là mình có theo con nghĩ là cái bài căn bản là phải cái vô ngã trước rồi đó. Thì có xảy ra cái gì cũng không phải là mình. Mà cái tự tánh của mình mới là mình với là đồng với chư Phật, còn những cái gì xảy ra không phải là mình. Mình không có đắm vào đó.
Basically, you'll be as you in normal life, you're exposed to all these fantastic skills. They are very impressive skills. However, what stops you from choosing those paths is your what? Yes, 9.
Master, could it be your blessings?
That's it. If you have the blessings, you would not be, yes, you're tempted, you are intrigued, but somehow your blessing says, nah, something's off. You don't know what. It's your blessings that pull you away from engaging in those paths. That's your only protection. Isn't it interesting? Let's face it. If someone tells you teach you meditation, and then pretty soon you'll be able to have this astral body and go anywhere you like and so forth. That's a fascinating skill. It's real. These people actually are able to do that. Not in India, not in China, here too. I will tell you this funny story. When I started meditating, I was interested in Tai Chi, was interested in other Taoist practices too, because Master Hsuan disciples is a Taoist at heart. He doesn't understand meditation, so he teaches us Taoist practices. All this contemplation and so forth. And they will produce fantastic results. However, couldn't go anywhere because the guy can't get very far himself. Therefore, his instructions are off. But anyway, so all I have left was this 4 2 hands and eyes, which promises to have fantastic results. Probably more impressive than flying around. Who cares about flying around? Let's make money. That's more real. You want to fly around and buy an airplane, Yeah, I want to go see dolphins. I buy a yacht, Who cares? I don't need to fly with my own hands. Anyway, so what's left I learned is hands and eyes, and I was practicing on my own, at night. I didn't know how to produce results. So I have this heard that the externalists, they practice from 11 p.m. to midnight to 1 a.m. That's the best time to do spiritual practices. So I did that. Every night I made sure, I don't care, I sleep like in the afternoon first to make sure by 11 o'clock at night I'm wide awake. So I would practice there every single night. For years I was doing that. And didn't get very far. I got a little bit of skills. But one day, one night I was doing it, and I realized, wait a minute. I was meditating, doing the hands and eyes at night, facing the outside wall. I have a room there in the house. That's all I have. And then so I was facing the, half of my body is in the window, half on the wall. So it's sitting there, and the walls, the blinds are down. So I realized, wait a minute, there's a spy watching me. And I said, oh, that's a disciple of that Jing Kung monk. He has no left-form disciple except for one. And his reputation is that he doesn't accept left-form disciples. You're a monk, you're supposed to accept left-form disciples. You don't. There's something a little bit off. Because as a monk, you're supposed to transfer your knowledge. Your responsibility is transfer your knowledge to the next generation. That's how you repay the kindness of your teachers. Whoever taught you that knowledge, it's your responsibility to pass it on. You can't just take it and use it and spend, use the skills to have a good life and have a fame and profit and so forth, and then leave. You can't. You have to transfer your knowledge. That's our ethos. So anyway, so this guy here, this Jing Kung guy here, doesn't, Pure Land, so he doesn't accept disciples, except for a left-form disciple, except for this guy. I said, oh, it's him. You see, remember, the blinds there, windows there, never saw this guy before, just heard of him. But I was sitting there, and I said, oh, I'm being watched, I'm being spied on by this guy floating in the air right there. And so, oh, it's Jing Kung's disciples spying on me. Oh, why is he here? He's here because he's heard of me. Someone telling him about me, disciple of Master Hsuan, who practices, who is a very vigorous cultivator. He meditates a lot. I meditated a lot. So he come around every night to watch me practice. I was going to, And so he's watching me. I say, so he's spying on me, how interesting. Okay, with his astral body. Okay, so it's not just the Taoists, it's not just the Brahmins. This guy clearly is Taoist, and he got some skills, so that's why he went and somehow managed to get the Jingkong Fashi to allow him to become a monk, because that's his next horizon to conquer. So anyway, so after you become a monk, what did he do? He uses Taoist skills as well, because he's got no Buddhist skills as impressive. So he went around. What does he do? He uses the skills to go spy on people. Okay, I know what you did last night. So he ran out of things to do. So every night he meditates to do what? To go travel and spy on people. See, that's what happens when you have skills, but you have no wisdom. See the danger? You have skills, but you don't know how to apply those skills properly. Okay? That's why it's called worldly knowledge. You don't have any wisdom at all. You do the wrong things. You use your skills for the wrong purposes. So he went there. So I was waiting, and I realized all those things happening. I said, okay, you want to spy? You want to learn? Learn. What do I care? Steal it from me. I didn't pay for it, so you can steal it from me. What do I care? Okay? So he watched every single night between 11 or so. He would show up at 11, and then he watched me until 12 or 1 a.m. Then I get lazy and I lie down and sleep. And then he leave. Okay, so every night it happened for 2 weeks. And one night I said, wait a minute. Haven't you had enough? I gave you 2 weeks, so watching me is the same thing every single night. Aren't you bored? No. Every night it's like he stopped going shopping or going to New York or Paris or something. He just came around to watch me. And so after 2 nights, I said, this is enough. I gave you enough, okay? And so I slapped him in the face and get out of here. He never dare come back. You see? In Buddhism, what do we care? We're not here to impress you. Okay? You don't behave, I beat you up. You're sick, I heal you. That's what Master YongHua does. He's not, no one is trying to impress you. No one is trying to gain fame or profit here. Yes, 7.
Với là Phật, thưa Thầy, trường hợp đó, thí dụ mình dùng cái bàn tay số 2 sợi dây đó mình trói nó lại không cho nó về được.
Master, in that case, can we use number 2 to use the cord to tie him up so that he cannot go anywhere?
Why would you want to harm him?
Mình chỉ thử thôi.
Well, you can try anything you want. They're there, so it's their problem, not our problem. When we have these intruders, these spies, we are entitled to try anything of them. They are the guinea pigs. It's perfectly okay. But there's no need to do that. There's no need to harm them. I just want to decided to teach him a lesson. That's all. Stop spying on people. Have you no shame? You're a monk. What are you doing spying on people? So anyway. And apparently I learned too. When we slap an astral body, he feels it too. Master YongHua does it all the time. Let me tell you, Master YongHua, he fools around a lot. He knows so much, and that's something that I wish I could spend more time with my late teacher, and would be so cool to pick his brains about all those things. Because, the little thing he explained earlier, one slide, he says, this is, I said, that's why. He understands it. He understands it so well that,
for me to try to explain it would take me a year or two to try to figure it out eventually. For him, he said, this is what it's about. Okay, Master YongHua is a very special monk. It's just too bad that we don't have a chance to learn from him live anymore. I wish I could ask him questions. Go ahead, Conk. We can't hear you. And while they're working on that audio thing, problem they have, for the old monk to tell his novice that if we inconvenient people, we also inconvenient, that's Hinayana thinking. There's no need for that. You have to discern Hinayana spirit versus Mahayana spirit. He's so worried about himself. He said, if I inconvenience you, I'm also inconvenienced. And that's what I hear the Chinese talking like that constantly. Okay?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now, yes.
Master, he was astral body. How could you hit his astral body? You hit physically?
How can I hit through the window? So apparently I also have my own astral body that enables me to hit it through the window without practicing it. See, these guys are so proud. They say they practice these things. What are you doing here? Okay, so these people, they have these models, they have these skills they develop, and they make a big deal out of it. In Buddhism, it's never an end goal for us. And after that, I assure you, I'll never try to hit someone across the window again, because I might, my hand is important for my practice. Okay, it just happened at that moment. I decided to slap him. That's all. Okay, just to embarrass him. A monk doesn't get slapped in the face. It's very rare, so I decided to slap him. And it seems to work. That's all. So anyway, so you see, this temple here, this old monk and everything, the spirit is that yes, we should be hospitable. We should help people, but because that's what we're supposed to do, not because we want to help people so that in the future we will be helped, or we don't want to inconvenience people because that's also the inconvenience ourselves. That's Hinayana thinking. It's nonsense. There's no need for that. You do the right things, just do the right things. You don't need any reason, just besides the fact that you're supposed to help, you're supposed to share, you're supposed to be hospitable. That's all. You're supposed to be kind, you're supposed to be compassionate. That's it. Whatever, you don't need any more reasons than that. Okay? Okay, let's continue. But Master YongHua is so cool. I mean, he's so knowledgeable.
他们在外边，各回去有一些生活啊，没有回来。这个老和尚 叫这小沙弥叫这个人。
He was greedy to play with spiritual penetration everywhere outside and didn't come back. This old monk told this little novice.
吃饭，小沙弥去看，这个婆罗门在这坐着，气断了，死了。
Go get that person for breakfast. The little novice went to have a look. This Brahmin is sitting there without a breath. He's dead.
回去告诉这个老和尚，说这个婆罗门他已经死了，坐着死的。这老和尚说这个真是。
He went back to tell this old monk, this Brahmin has died. He died sitting. Then the old monk said, Ah, this is too.
我想给人行行方便，想不到他给我们添了麻烦。
We wanted to offer others convenience, but didn't expect him to give us trouble.
好，我们弄点木头，把它烧了算了。师傅就把它抬到那个化身窑的地方去，就把它用火烧了。
Okay, let's collect some wood and just cremate him. Thus, he carried his body to the incinerator and cremated it.
烧了不要紧，这个麻烦更多了啊！天天一到太阳一要热的时候，他就在这吵起来。吵什么呢？要他。
Once cremated, there were even more trouble. Every day at dusk, he would hunt here. For what?
房子，我这房子哪去了？去找他的房子。这个老和尚知道这是死这个人闹鬼呀。
He wanted his house. Where is my house? He would look for his house. This old monk knew this is the dead people hunting.
于是乎就给他念咒、念往生咒、念楞严咒、念什么咒，他都是要房子。
Thus, he recited mantras for him. He recited the rebirth mantra, the Shuragama mantra. No matter what mantra he recited, he just wanted his house.
天天闹的，大概有1-2个月这么个时间呢。这个老和尚也没有咒念了。
Haunted every day. Haunted every day. After about a month or two, this old monk ran out of mantras to recite.
小和尚也怕得不得了，这小沙弥师徒两个说我们搬家了，这个人不要了。
The little monk was also scared out of his wits. This little novice, the master and the disciple said, Let's move. We don't want this temple anymore.
一天早就得搬家。既 好了要搬家，这搬家要来一个和尚搬进，也是到这儿。
Let's move tomorrow morning. They planned to move, but another monk came. At night, he also arrived here.
想要挂单继续。一叫门，那个小沙弥出来问你做什么？
And wanted to stay over for the night. Once he knocked on the door, this little novice came out and asked,
老父亲，和尚，我因为错过这个住的地方了，我现在。
What are you doing here, old cultivator? He said, Because I missed the place to stay over.
今天晚上想在你这住一宿。这个上面说住一宿呢，这不留，现在不留人了。
Tonight, I would like to stay at your place for the night. The novice said, Stay overnight? Now we don't keep visitors anymore.
不留人在这住了，我们都要搬家了。这个和尚说：“你现在不留人。”
We don't keep visitors here. We're moving. This monk said, Oh, now you don't keep visitors?
以前你一定是留过啊。这沙弥说：“当然了，我们以前留一个人，他在这死了，现在闹鬼了，没要搬家。”
So, in the past, you must have kept visitors. The novice said, Of course, we kept a visitor before. He died here. Now he's haunting us.
家，明天就搬家了，所以不能留你，不能结你的缘了。
We are moving. We plan to move tomorrow, so we can't keep you here. We can't have this affinity with you.
And that's Chinese. They say, I cannot create affinities with you. Okay, not have affinity. Jie is to build or to construct. Okay, or to knit affinity, knit conditions with you. So it's referring to the fact that they're doing you a favor, so that primarily you owe them, because you owe them. They did something for you. Now you owe them. So in the future you have to pay them back. Okay, and that's Chinese wisdom. Okay. So he says, this novice says, we're moving and we try to help, and people allow them to lodge overnight, but now we don't do it anymore because there's some ghost issues with these people, and so I can't create affinities with you. Not tonight. Yes, one.
Derek, Master, how can we discern the Hinayana spirit versus Mahayana spirit? Offering convenience feels like helping others to me, which I thought would be the spirit of Mahayana.
No, it isn't. When you offer spirit in order to benefit yourself, that's Hinayana. You offer help for the sake of just helping.
That's Mahayana. Nothing left. You help and you done. There's nothing left. You don't even remember you help. You see, why would you even care to create affinities with others? You just help and you're done. There's no affinities to create. So create affinities is a Chinese and Indian concept that's Hinayana. It's not necessary. We in America in the 21st century, we should be better than that. When we help, just help. No affinities to create. We can't care less. Okay? We have a chance to help. That's all that matters. Conditions are right for us to help. We have an opportunity to do something good. Okay? Let's just do it and forget about it. Okay? Don't call and text your mom about it and say, hey, Mom, look, I just helped someone tonight. Or do a text group. Hey, guys, guess what? I just created tremendous blessings for myself. I help a Hershang, help a monk. I just help. And you don't even remember. And that's Mahayana. Whereas you help here, you help because you want to create affinities with people. You help because you help. Because you're supposed to help. That's it. You have the chance to help. You have a room that's empty anyway. And there's a chance for someone who can use it. So you help, and that's it. No calculation, no discrimination. Whereas according to this story here from this Indian monk and his old monk and his novice, they still follow the Buddha's teachings to the letter. And you're supposed to create affinities. You're supposed to avoid inconveniencing others. And that's very Hinayana thinking. Okay? And that's because these people didn't have the proper teacher. And this is not what I learned from Master YongHua, because I watched them. Okay? I heard stories about how he helped people. Okay? And that's how you learn. These people, they didn't know, so they read from books, and that's it. There's a cause and effect. You inconvenience people, therefore you are inconvenienced yourself. Yes, it's true. It's a Buddhist teaching. But that's for the Mahayana people, for Hinayana people, not for Mahayana people like us. Hey, continue.
这和尚说：“你们这闹鬼，我就会治鬼，我会捉鬼。你什么鬼我都可以给你治鬼。”
This monk said, "Oh, your place is haunted. I can subdue ghosts. I can catch ghosts. No matter what ghost, I can subdue it for you."
这个沙弥一听，我跟我姐姐和我师父商量商量，回去就沙弥跑到里边对他师父讲说外边来一个。
Upon hearing this, the novice said, "I will discuss this with my master for you." Returned inside, the novice ran to his master and said,
和尚，他说他能捉鬼，能治鬼。我告诉他以前有一个人在这死嘛闹鬼。
Outside came a monk. He said he can catch ghosts and subdue ghosts. I told him there was someone who died here, and he is haunting us.
他能治，你看怎么办呢？这老和尚说治鬼是在骗人，我都治不了鬼，他怎么能治鬼？
He said he can fix it. What shall we do? The old monk said, "Subdue ghosts? That's lying. Even I can't subdue ghosts. How could he?
那都一个样，出家人，我都没有发布，没有咒念的，他就有咒念，我不相信。
We're the same left-home people. I don't have a way. I ran out of mantras to recite, but he has a mantra to recite? I don't believe this.
他不过想要在这住，他骗我们想在这住一许，所以他说他会治鬼。
He just want to stay here. He lied to us to stay here for the night. So, he said he knows how to subdue ghosts.
但是虽然这么样讲，他说他会治鬼，咱们就不太住一许了。反正明天我们也搬了一起。
Even though, since he said that he can subdue ghosts, let's keep him here for the night. We're moving together tomorrow anyway.
住一许不要紧。意思呢，就是试试看，看看他。他说他会治鬼，但是能不能治鬼？
It's okay for him to stay over for the night, which means to try him out, to see. He said that he can subdue ghosts. Can he really? 要留这个婆罗门呢，要留这个和尚在这住下。住下，他说你治鬼怎么治法？他说我一个杯缸水，在这个。 Thus, they let the monk staying here. They asked, "How do you subdue ghosts?" He said,
房子里头，再是烧起来一堆火，我一个人在这就好了。
"If you can prepare a tank of water in this house and set up a fire for me, I can be here by myself."
晚上间有一缸水，一堆火，坐这边打坐，这鬼就来了，说我那个房子哪去了？
At night, he meditated here with a tank of water and a pile of fire. Then, this ghost came. He said, "Where is my house?"
快的把我房子给我。这个和尚说：“你的房子在那水里呢，你到那水里去找去了。”
"Give it to me quickly. Give me back my house," this monk said. "Your house is in the water. You should go look for it in the water."
这个鬼，跑到那缸水里去找，也没有，说没有，这水里。这个老和尚说：“那在那会。”
This ghost ran into the tank of water to look for it. Couldn't find it. He said, "It's not in the water," the old monk said.
火里头，在那堆火里头。这个婆罗门的鬼又跑到那火里去找他的房子。
Oh, then it's in the fire, in that pile of fire. This Brahman ghost then ran into the fire to look for his house. He said,
说这火里头有没有啊？ 这个和尚就大喝了一声，说你入水不溺，入火不分，你还找什么房子？
It is also not in this fire. The monk shouted loudly once, said, You entered the water, didn't drown. Entered the fire, didn't burn. What house are you looking for?
这么一喝，哦，这个鬼开悟，婆罗门鬼开悟，开悟了，就不找房子。
He shouted like this. Oh, then this ghost was enlightened. The Brahman ghost was enlightened. Enlightened. He then stopped looking for his house.
所以修出玄入品这种功夫，这是道教所修的。有很多的危险。
So, to practice the Kung Fu of the spirit exits to the heaven and returns to the earth. This is a Taoism practice. Ah, this practice has many dangers.
这个婆罗门鬼幸亏遇到一个善知识，所以他又觉悟了。
This Brahman ghost was lucky to meet a good knowing advisor, so he was awakened.
如果不遇到善知识，他还是一样的迷而不悟。
If he didn't meet a good knowing advisor, he would still be confused and not enlightened.
结果这个老和尚和小沙弥也都不搬家了，就不夜不闹。
In the end, this old monk and the little novice didn't move. This ghost also stopped causing trouble.
这样呢，看来呀，所以修行不需要修这个出玄入品。
From the look of this story, when practicing, we don't need to practice this. The spirit exits to the heaven and returns to the earth.
Okay, so
还有一个，
so the story is about the conclusion is very, very important. He says, if you practice Buddhism, do not practice this astral body where your spiritual baby, your spiritual body comes out, and that's a skill that these people develop. Okay, and he says it's not a good practice. That's all you need to know. There's a lot more technical details. That's not important. The important thing is that from the perspective of this wise Buddhist monk, his experience has been that you're going to run through a lot of problems. Okay, and so don't practice it. Okay, and to me also it's interesting perspective. You have this small temple here with an old monk who who has a small novice practicing with him, and this probably happened in a countryside. You can sort of look at the mindset of the old monk. You know, I know all the mantras. If I cannot help them, therefore, how can anyone else help this ghost? Okay, you see, it's like a countryside bumpkin kind of thinking. You know, But you see, to me, it's interesting that this monk here was able to practice his temple in what he calls his temple, and he pretty sincere. He practiced Buddhism. He meditated and recited mantras and so forth. Okay, and so it's remarkable he's able to do that. He devoted his life to do that. And as a result, even though he didn't have enough blessings to be taught, okay, so that he never pay attention, folks. You know, he may be sincere. He may have decided to devote his life to practicing Buddhism, but it doesn't mean he'll be taught. Look at that. He practiced his entire life, became old, and he still was getting nowhere. Okay? Yeah. That's a very important lesson. Think about it. Yeah. You're not shown how to practice. How are you going to make it? You end up being like this old monk here who so diligently practice. You know, he's not after fame, he's not after profits. He just practice. He recited mantras. Okay, he recited all kinds of mantras. He still got nowhere. That should be a warning to all of you. Okay, it's not just enough to practice. You can spend your entire life practicing. You practice the wrong Dharma, you have the astral body, and you go and play every single night, and you get stuck with the astral body. Or you don't do the astral body, and you practice these Buddhist practices, and you read from the books, and it brings you nowhere either. That's how dangerous it is. Okay? But regardless, to me it's kind of cute that there's a monk here and somehow he got a naive young boy to come and keep him company. Okay? So they're very comfortable there. Okay? And they're happy there. It's their home. It's kind of cute. Think about it. It's so charming. You know, it is a countryside. Okay? Houses are cheap. Okay? But it's their homes. Okay? And the old monk's really sincerely practicing, and he's going to pass on that knowledge to his kid, to his novice as well. To me, it's so cute. Okay, and that's Buddhism as well. There's room for such people. Okay, so what happened is that they got in trouble. Okay, they didn't know anything about the astral body things, and you know, when the astral body comes out, your body basically is dead until it comes back. Okay, but they didn't know. So, and being countryside people, they covered up. You know, they screwed up. So they said, "Oh, this person died in my temple. I don't want the authorities to find out." Okay, so they burned the body to hide. See, so he committed an offense himself. Okay, so he basically killed that person. Okay, it's a pretty grave offense. Think about it. He killed someone by burning up his body. And basically, if you do that, he and his novice, forget it. Okay? We don't want you anymore. Okay? So, but then the ghost came back and haunted them and said, "Hey, what happened to my house? What happened to my body?" But they said, "I don't know. Did you see his body?" I said, "No, Master, I didn't see any body." So they were confused. So they didn't know what to do. So they recited mantras, rebirth mantras, and food mantras, and all those things, and nothing worked. Why not? Never knew how to recite these mantras properly. Never trained to recite mantras properly. See that? And to the point where they're so terrified of this ghost. The ghost is very upset. You know, you cannot fool me. My house is somewhere here. You better return to me. I'm not going anywhere. So every night the ghost would come around and haunt them to the point the old monk is terrified himself. He lost his school. And the kid probably threatened to tell his master, said, "If we don't do anything about this ghost here, I have to go back home because I'm scared of ghosts." You know? And so the old monk said, "Okay, I tell you what, let's move." So it's kind of cute. The story is kind of cute. So he said, so it's easy. You move, somewhere else because it's countryside, you build another house, build another hut. What's a big deal? Okay? Let's move. So they decided to move. Okay? So they gave up the temple. They gave up a Buddhist temple. This is in India. Okay? And guess what? Lo and behold, someone came to help. A bodhisattva came to help. See that? To me, it's so heartwarming. We see such naive countryside people, stupid people, clumsy people. All they want to do is practice Buddhism, don't know how. They still don't know what to do. And yet, the bodhisattva says, I should come and help you anyway. That is so Mahayana. Huh? You idiots, what are you doing in your lives? No, it's no criticism. You don't have to lose your home. I know you're suffering, so I'm going to go and help you, come and help you anyway. That is so Mahayana to me. You help because you're supposed to help, even though it's nonsense. These people, they stay there the rest of their lives, they will get nowhere. The monk probably end up going down to the hells, okay? And the boy will follow him eventually. And guess what? They're still coming to help. The bodhisattva is still a bodhisattva, decided to come to help. That is so Mahayana. It's a beautiful story. So we help in order for that old monk not to lose his home, in order for the young novice not to be terrified of ghosts, so that they can continue their spiritual practice. That's all. That's all they deserve. They still help anyway. It's so cute. And that is so Buddhist. When you practice, okay, and you really sincerely practicing, the bodhisattvas will come and help you. Trust me. Okay? That you can count on. Just practice. Don't worry. Okay, Conk.
Master, I got some questions before in the Chan class. Some people said that the astral body happened without putting any effort, naturally, during meditation. And somebody asked me what to do because he's scared. If that happens, does it stop eventually? Does he have to do anything?
Don't have to do anything. And don't be excited about it. And don't. Sometimes it comes out. It's a natural thing. And it will, and you don't do anything, it will stop. Okay, it happens to quite a few people. Okay, it's due to the fact in the prior lives they practiced that Taoist practice. Okay, and these Taoists, the way they practice it, they have this astral body because when they meditate, they say, "I want to create this astral body," and that's the end result. So they practiced that in prior lives, and that's why now this lifetime, now they're picking up meditation, they're drawn to meditation again, and because of those prior habits, meditation to them is like astral body. That's why it comes out again, okay? And all they have to do, this person have to do is just cut it out. I don't want any astral body to come out. Eventually we'll stop, that's all. It still comes out because of the past habit, energy, where they want something to come out. So just cut it off. Say, I don't want anything to come out. I just want to meditate. And that's what will fix the problem. Okay? Just in case, and tell them good luck. Go to another temple to practice. So that they can't blame us until it's fixed. Yes, 6.
Master, if the astral body goes out, it's gonna encounter the hungry ghost, or?
Yeah, it could. But it's just like, to me, it's like you travel, you go and take a look at places, and then what? What do you want to look at?
What does looking do to you? Nothing for me. You know, my days are gone when I used to go and look at window shopping and drool and say, oh, I would like to have this, that jacket. Oh, exquisite jacket. You're only tantalizing yourself. You're only torturing yourself. That's all. Okay, so there's this misguided priorities. It's a cool thing to be able to do, but actually it's pretty useless. Yes, 8.
Master, is this astral body the same as the intermediate skandha body that the dead take after?
I have no idea, so I don't want to comment on things I'm not sure. Okay? Yeah. Why would we want to elaborate on this thing for you? The more you know, the more intrigued you'll be. Just only thing you need to know is that it's not desirable. Cut it out. Go ahead, Conk. Some knowledges are not worth pursuing. That's all.
So the person who's scared of being able to do astral body thing, he should have an intention or thought to stop, or doesn't have to do anything, just let it be?
Just doesn't have to do anything. And what you don't want to do is guarantee him anything. Don't be like that. Don't be like that old monk. I guarantee you that that if you do it this way, it's not going to happen. None of our business. Okay, for a lot of people, it stops after a while. Okay, won't be long because of that greed for the astral body from prior lives. Okay, it's not a big deal. Okay, but if he's scared and doesn't want to continue, so what? Stop meditating. What do we care? No one is forcing you to do anything. Okay, and this question is like, can you tell me what can I guarantee you when it's going to stop or whatever? Why should we guarantee you anything? Part of life, part of meditation is to experience these things. And they're cool, they're fun. That's about it. What's a big deal? It's not the end of the world. Right? So you meditate and you see yourself floating and you're looking back on yourself. So what? Doesn't do anything. Keep on looking and looking and looking. What for? Yes, 5.
Mô Phật bạch thầy, giống người ta ngoài người ta tu cái pháp môn này cũng nhiều lắm, mà ta tu được gì cũng là hãnh diện lắm thầy. Thầy ngõ ngày Hòa Thượng Tiên Hóa đó, thầy có một ngày làm lễ rất là lớn. Xong á, thầy ổng ở chợ ông nhìn xuống á, thầy ổng nhìn những cái tâm nào, những người nào cái tâm nào ổng nhìn ra được hết á. Là rồi xong á, có 2 cái người đó nó muốn lại khiêng một cái thùng phúc xương của ở ngoài trước á, thì ổng nhìn vô, ổng đằng chánh điện ở trên kia, ổng nhìn xuống mới nói cho cái người kế bên á, nó coi chừng để chút người ta muốn lấy cái sườn phúc xương. Thế người ta nói nhìn qua nhìn lại ai mà dám đâu, phải không? Thiệt cái chút cái 2 người đó nó lại ginh cái thuyền phúc xương đi. Thì ngày đó mình thấy ngày ngồi trên cái bồn tòa chảnh đó, thì ngày nhìn xuống chúng sanh đó, ngày thấy những cái tâm người ta, tâm gì ngài cũng đã nhìn được hết đó thầy. Theo con không biết con nói gì có đúng không thầy? Mô Phật.
Master, from what I observed, I saw that a lot of people practice this type of Dharma, and then they are so proud about it. And then I saw that Master YongHua, there was one time that he was organized a very big ceremony, and then he's from up there, he looked down, he can see all kind of mind from people, and then he knew that there were 2 people that planned to steal the donation box. So he warned the people next to him, say like, keep an eye on the donation box and then pay attention to it. And then people would say like, hey, who really want to steal things from the temple? But actually it happened that way. And then, like Master YongHua from up there, and then he looked down, and then he understand, he can see through all what happened in our mind.
Yes, Master YongHua can read minds. What's scary about him? Okay, he can read people's mind. It's a spiritual penetration of others' thoughts. Okay, Master YongHua has many spiritual penetrations, and so that's why he's pretty scary. You have no privacy. When you see him, he reads your past, he sees your future, and he even knows what you're thinking. So that's no fun. Okay. Okay, let's continue.
同样呢，他也修这个出玄有性。一做完出去。
There was another Brahmin. He also practiced this. The spirit exits to the heaven and returns to the earth. He sat there, and the spirit left.
出去啊，他自己晓得是他出去一个小人，但是这个境界就不同了。
The spirit left. He himself felt it's a little person who left, but this state was different.
另外就有一个人看他出这个小人出个什么呢？在头上就出了一条蛇。
Another person didn't see a little person leaving. So what left? A snake came out of his head.
这条蛇呀，出来就从他身上走到房子里边，走到房子里边，又走到外边。
This snake came out from his body. It walked inside to the house. From the inside of the house, it walked outside.
外边又走到那个那个屙尿的那个地方啊，有个那个连邋遢水呀，都在那个，他就到那种。
Outside, he walked to where people urinate. All the filthy water were there.
多了很多邋遢水，欢欢喜喜的又回来了。回来了，这个和尚来问他说：“你看。”
He went there, drank lots of filthy water. Finished drinking, he joyfully went back. This monk asked him,
他什么时候回来的？他说我出去了，先到天上，到了天上呢，在那个天河里边呢，我沐浴一下。
"Where did you go?" He said, I went out. First went to the heaven. After arriving in the heaven, I took a bath in the heavenly river.
现在 take a bath。我在另外一个地方很多甘露水，我喝了很多甘露水，我回来了。
Then I went to another place. There was lots of sweet dew water. I drank lots of sweet dew water and came back.
这个和尚就告诉他，说你所谓到天上啊，到地下都没有，连100步都没有出去。
Then this monk told him, "Your so-called heaven was not even 100 steps on the ground."
你从你那个头上现出来出来的是一个长虫，这个长虫呢，就从你身上走到房里到。
What came out of your head was a long worm. A long worm. From your body, it walked to the inside of the house.
外边，因为走到外边，以为就到天上。
Then, from the inside of the house to the outside, because you walked outside, you thought it was heaven.
走到外边呢，又有你看你前边那个最肮脏那个水呀，
walked outside. You see, there was also this filthiest water in front of you. That's the end of this file.
Okay, we can stop here, I guess. Any questions or comments? These states, when the people meditate, they have a lot of, meditation is very conducive to you developing spiritual powers. It's a commonplace. So these states will occur not only to us, but to anyone who meditates, especially externalists. And that's why they tend to be confused by that, and because they don't know better. And that's why meditation for us, contrary to theirs, is that we practice meditation under the supervision and the guidance of a good no advisor. Okay, they don't. That's why they get in trouble. Okay, yeah, the good no advisor in Buddhism, in a Chan school, is very critical in helping us going astray. And because once you go to these astral bodies things here, it's very hard to undo. For what? I mean, just keep on going and travel around forever. So every night is a waste of your life. You go and travel at night, and then eventually you go older and you die, and then what? You really have done nothing with your life at all. So it's useless, and yet we are enamored by these nonsense things. Okay, and of course there are just in this case here. You see, we'll probably will find out the end, the rest of the story tomorrow night. But recently, I don't remember who exactly, the exact details, but somebody dreamed. This is like a dream as well. You know, you sit, you meditate, and this thing comes out, you know, and you go experience these things. It's no different from a dream, okay? It's just sensations from our dreams, okay? These hallucinations. So this person here dreamt
of a long lost relative, an aunt, okay, and so the aunt showed this person around, and they live in this beautiful palace, and the table are stacked with all kinds of foods, Neapolitan pizza, hamburgers, and so forth, and so they, the person reported to me. He says my aunt or my relative is so proud. He said, "You look at all the food I have here, Here, have some pizza," and gave me a slice of pizza. I took the slice of pizza and said, "It doesn't feel like pizza." Okay, that person, enjoy this pizza. This is a very good pizza, honey. Eat it, enjoy it. This is one of my favorites. So I touched the pizza in my hand, look at it, and the pizza became a piece of cow dung. So to this aunt here, this relative here, that cow dung is a pizza. So and she eats it. This aunt eats that pizza, and I find it delicious. But when it comes this person here, my disciple, she says, when I touch it in my hand, I realize from her, she described it to me, gave it to me as a pizza. As soon as I touch it, it turned into excrement. See the different kind of blessings? For that aunt, that's excrement is pizza. For my disciple, excrement is excrement. Two different perspectives. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, and so I am sorry I forgot all the details. To me, it's a lot of gossiping. Turns out, the palace is basically like an outhouse, okay, and so forth. So she left and looked back, and all of a sudden, that humongous, adorned palace there, okay, became an outhouse. And so I said, she needs help. She's in the hungry ghost realm. Okay, folks. We stop here tonight. Thank you all. And we see you tomorrow night.